How did we come to know that millions of years ago, dinosaurs once ruled the Earth? Around 60 million years ago, our planet was ruled by animals that we now recognize as dinosaurs. These dinosaurs didn't rule for just 100 or 1,000 years, but for a whole 180 million years. According to estimates, during the Jurassic period, there were over 400 billion dinosaurs on Earth, more than 40 trillion. However, we still haven't found a single dinosaur fossil in its original form. But it seemed like we were about to. In 2011, a man named Sean Funk was working at a mine in Canada. The excavation was happening 200 feet deep in the Sancor Millennium Mine, located in the Alberta province of Canada. It was 1:30 in the afternoon, and the excavation work was going on at full speed. The soil here was soft, so the excavator didn't have to put in much effort. But then, at one point, the excavator had to apply more force to dig deeper. And Sean Funk thought that maybe there was a large stone in his way. When the stone was pushed, Sean noticed a strange pattern embedded in the ground. The dark brown soil surrounded a pattern with circles in it. He called his shift supervisor over, and soon everyone in the mine gathered to see this unusual discovery. However, the true nature of the find was revealed when Dr. Don L. Henderson from the Royal Tyrrell Museum arrived. Dr. Henderson, an expert in prehistoric fossils, quickly understood that this was no ordinary fossil. It was from an animal no one had ever imagined. But was it a fossil of a plesiosaur or something else? The mystery of what it looked like could only be unraveled if it was carefully extracted. The experts were instructed to carefully remove the fossil from the ground. The soil around the fossil was removed, and it was now time to separate it from the earth. Normally, an electric jackhammer would be used for such tasks, but to avoid damaging the fossil, the experts decided to use hydrovacuum technology. Hydrovacuum technology uses high-pressure water guns to cut through materials while simultaneously vacuuming up soil and water with industrial-grade vacuums. Now, the massive stone containing the fossil was detached from the earth. It was time to load it into a truck. The experts thought it would be easy to lift it with a crane, but as soon as the crane tried to lift it, the fossil split into two parts. The workers were dismayed. The team from the Royal Tyrrell Museum was saddened by the fossil breaking, but all hope was not lost. Although it had split, the fossil was still complete, and the mystery of what it contained remained. The fossil was carefully packed and transported to the Royal Tyrrell Museum, where another fascinating discovery was about to unfold. At this point, no one knew the true identity of the fossil. Due to millions of years of being buried underground, it took years of painstaking effort to separate the fossil from the surrounding rocks. After 5 years and 7,000 hours of work, the fossil was finally freed from the rocks, and what was uncovered was something no one had seen in at least 80 million years. All the paleontologists were stunned to find that this was not a plesiosaur fossil, but a dinosaur fossil. What was even more surprising was that this dinosaur fossil was so well preserved that its skin was still intact. It was the only dinosaur fossil ever found in such a pristine condition. The dinosaur's skin had a reddish-brown color, and its entire body was covered in an armored jacket for self-defense. This dinosaur weighed about 3.5 tons, and beyond that, little was known. Now it was time for paleontologists to investigate this unusual dinosaur. After years of research and hundreds of tests, they made an incredible discovery. This dinosaur had died about 110 million years ago, and when it died, it was still in the process of eating. This slow-moving dinosaur fed on plants, and surprisingly, traces of the plants were also found preserved in its stomach. This dinosaur lived during the Jurassic period, a time when reptiles ruled the Earth.